Dear shareholders, good afternoon and a warm welcome to the 43rd Annual General Meeting of Paradeep Phosphates Limited. As a reminder, for the smooth conduct of the meeting, the members will be in mute mode and audio and video will be unable when they are called upon to speak at the AGM as per the pre-registration. I now hand over the proceedings to Mr. Sachin Patel, Company Secretary of Paradeep Phosphates Limited. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, moderator. Good afternoon, dear shareholders. I warmly welcome all of you to the 43rd Annual General Meeting of your company, which is being held through video conferencing in compliance with the circular issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and the Securities Exchange Board of India. The company has taken all necessary steps to ensure that the shareholders are provided with an opportunity to participate in this AGM and exercise their voting rights. The company had provided the remote e-voting facility to the CDSL platform, which commenced at 10 a.m. on September 9, 2025 and concluded at 5 p.m. on September 11, 2025. Members who are present at the AGM and have not cast their vote, the resolution through the remote e-voting shall be eligible to vote through the e-voting system during this AGM and up to 30 minutes after its conclusion. The statutory registers are also available for inspection during the AGM on the CDSL e-voting platform. As the requisite quorum being present, we have our chairman, Mr. Suresh Kumar Poddar, who will chair this annual general meeting. On behalf of you all, I welcome Chairman Sir and request him to conduct the proceeding. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sachin. Distinguished shareholders, Namaste and good afternoon to all of you. It is my absolute pleasure and privilege as your chairman to welcome you to the 43rd annual meeting of the company. Since the requisite quorum is present, I now call the meeting to order. In accordance with the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI, this meeting is being held through video conferencing. Before we commence the proceedings, I take this opportunity to introduce my esteemed colleagues on the board of directors. I start with Mr. Suresh Krishnan, who is the Managing Director and CEO. There he is. Then number 2 is Mr. Dipankar Chatterjee, Independent Director and Chairman of Audit and Risk Management Committee. 3 is Mr. Satyanand Mishra, Independent Director and Chairman of NRC and Stakeholder Relationship Committee. Number 4 is Mrs. Rita Menon, Independent Director and Chairperson of CSR and ESG Committee. 5 is Mr. Subrakant Panda, who needs no introduction, very well-known figure in Indian industry. He's an independent director. And finally, we have our OCP participant, Mr. Sual Mohammed, non-executive and independent director. Along with us, we also have today Mr. Rajiv Nambiar, President and Chief Operating Officer, Mr. Harshdeep Singh, President and Chief Commercial Officer, and Mr. Vijay Biswal, Chief Financial Officer, and Mr. Sachin Patel, Company Secretary, and the representatives of statutory auditors and secretarial auditor present at this meeting. Before we begin with the formal agenda, I would like to invite Mr. Suresh Krishnan, Managing Director and CEO, to present an overview of the company's performance for the year 24-25.
Thank you, Mr. Poddar. Good afternoon, dear shareholders, members of the board, and colleagues. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 43rd Annual General Meeting of Paradeep Phosphates Limited. Financial year 2025 has been truly a transformational year for the company, marked by healthy profitability, improved operational efficiency, and significant progress in strategic initiatives. In the financial year, we delivered strong operating performance. Our revenue rose from 11,575 crores in financial year 2024 to 13,820 crores, reflecting our ability to scale with agility. Production volumes improved from 2.3 million tons per annum to 2.63 million tons per annum. with capacity utilization rising from 76% to an impressive 87%. On the sales front, volumes increased from 2.52 million tons per annum to 3.03 million tons per annum, taking our market share in the phosphatic fertilizer segment from 12.6% to 14.4%. Our performance is truly a reflection of our deep-rooted engagement with the farming community and our ability to adapt amidst a rapidly transforming economic and agricultural landscape. The company strengthened its competitive position through strategic sourcing partnerships and robust backward integration, including in-house production of phosphoric acid, which helps us stay cost competitive while mitigating global price volatility. We also continue to diversify our product portfolio with innovative solutions such as nano urea, nano DAP, and triple super phosphate, fully aligned to the government's emphasis on enhancing nutrient efficiency and promoting sustainable farming. Importantly, the government's decision to enhance nutrient-based subsidy allocations for phosphatic fertilizer and increase the phosphate component by 42% for Kharif 2025 ensured affordability for farmers even amid global commodity volatility. FY 24-25 was a milestone year for us. We crossed 3.03 million tons of primary sales, our highest ever, marking a 20% jump over the previous year. Revenue from operations, as I've already informed, reached 13,820 crores, a growth of 19%, and our EBITDA doubled to rupees 1,367 crores, with profit after tax of rupees 553 crores. These gains came despite firm sulfur and phosphoric acid prices, highlighting the strength of our operating model. Free cash flow generation stood at 74% of EBITDA. The net debt to equity improved to 0.78, supported by disciplined working capital management. We also declared a 10% per share on the face value of rupees 10 as dividend, sharing the fruits of growth with all our shareholders. I'm also proud to share that we achieved an S&P Global ESG score of 75, placing your company in the top 2% of the global chemical companies, a strong endorsement of our commitment to sustainability and responsible business practices. Our CSR programs touched more than 75,000 lives this year, focused on livelihood enhancement, healthcare, education, and environmental conservation, strengthening our bond with communities around us. Looking ahead, Paradeep is in a position for sustained growth and innovation. Our priorities will include leveraging expanded capacity, advancing innovative NPK grades, enhancing workforce capability, and deepening engagement with the channel partners and the farming community. Will remain the drivers of long-term value creation for shareholders and stakeholders alike. In closing, I extend my sincere gratitude to our shareholders, employees, bankers, supply chain partners, and all stakeholders for their continued trust and support. Together, we are all well prepared to navigate future challenges and seize opportunities to deliver sustainable growth. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Friends, you have heard the Managing Director giving you a brief description on the performance of the company, which certainly is encouraging. And if you have any questions, you can certainly raise it at the appropriate time. We will now proceed with the formal agenda of the company. The annual report of the company for the financial year 24-25, including the notice of the AGM, has been sent to those shareholders whose email addresses are registered with the company or their respective depository participants. Hard copies have been dispatched to shareholders who have specifically requested them. Additionally, a letter containing a web link and navigation details for accessing the notice and annual report has been sent to those shareholders who have not yet registered with their email addresses. The notice convening the meeting may be taken as read. The statutory auditor's report and the secretarial auditor's report have no qualifications, so may I request you to take these as read. Since all resolutions have already been placed for voting through remote e-voting process, they are not required to be proposed or seconded at this meeting. We shall now take the agenda items set out in the notice, namely agenda items 1A and B, which is to consider and adopt the audited standalone financial statements of the company for the financial year March 31, 2025, and the report of the Board of Directors and auditors thereon, and the audited consolidated statement of the company for the financial year ended March 31, 2025, and the report of auditors thereon. So this is agenda item number 1A and B. Moving on to agenda item 2, this is to declare dividend on equity shares for the year ended March 31, 2025. Further, moving on to agenda item 3 is to appoint a director in place of Mr. Karim Lotfi Senaji, who retires by rotation, but being eligible offers himself for reappointment as a director liable to retire by rotation. We will now move to the special business on the agenda. Agenda item 4 is for ratification of remuneration to cost auditor. Agenda item 5 is for approval of material related party transaction with related parties. Agenda item 6 is for appointment for secretarial auditor of the company. The text of resolutions along with secretarial explanatory statements have been provided in the notice along with secretarial explanatory statements have been provided in the notice along with secretarial explanatory statements have been provided in the notice circulated to the members. Have been provided in the notice circulated to the members. Have been provided in the notice circulated to the members. Provided in the notice circulated to the members. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the session circulated to the members. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the session opens for question and answers. Members. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the session opens for question and answers.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now begin the question and answer session. I now invite our first speaker shareholder, Mr. Kamal Kishore Rawar. Mr. Kamal Kishore has registered as a speaker shareholder, but he has not connected for the AGM. So we will move to our next speaker shareholder, speaker number 2, Mr. Manjit Singh. Mr. Manjit Singh, we have sent you the prompt. Mr. Singh, unmute your mic and ask your question.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
कंपनी की मैनेजमेंट टीम, सेक्रेटरियल टीम और माय को शेयर होल्डर, मैं सभी का स्वागत करता हूं। गुड आफ्टरनून सर। कंपनी की प्रोग्रेस जिस तरह से ऑलरेडी चल रही है, आगे हमें और उम्मीद है कि जिस तरह से आप कार्य कर रहे हैं कार्य कुशलता से, उसी तरह आगे रिजल्ट और अच्छे मिलेंगे, इसकी हमें आपसे उम्मीद है और हम भगवान से प्रार्थना करते हैं। दुनिया के अंदर ट्रंप और देश के अंदर मोदी जी जिस तरह से जवाब लाए हैं टैरिफ का जीएसटी के साथ, ये जो 4 स्लैब थे जीएसटी के अब 2 होने जा रहे हैं, उसका क्या इम्पैक्ट रहेगा हमारी कंपनी पर, आगे ग्रोथ के प्लान पर क्या असर रहेगा, उसका ईपीएस उससे कुछ बढ़ेगा हमारा, थोड़ा आप इस बारे में बताइए। और टोटल इनकम का रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट पर हम क्या खर्चा करते हैं, थोड़ा इस बारे में बताइए। हमारी कंपनी स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के अंदर लिस्टेड है, उसके मानकों को मानते हुए हमारे सेक्रेटरियल डिपार्टमेंट ने वैलेंटाइन बैलेंस शीट तैयार करी है और हमारे बोर्ड को हमारे साथ रूबरू करा है। सेक्रेटरियल डिपार्टमेंट का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। ये जो समय आपके साथ साझा किया है हमने, इसका हमें अच्छा रिटर्न मिलेगा आने वाले टाइम में और कंपनी हमारी और मजबूती के साथ चलेगी, इसकी हम आपसे आशा करते हैं और भगवान से प्रार्थना करते हैं। थैंक यू फॉर द मैनेजमेंट टीम, थैंक यू फॉर द सेक्रेटरियल टीम।
Thank you, sir. So we will now move to our next speaker shareholder, speaker number 3, Mr. Manoj Kumar Gupta. Mr. Gupta, we have sent you the prompt. Please unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Mr.
Hello. Good afternoon, respected Chairman, Board of Directors, fellow shareholders. My name is Manoj Kumar Gupta. I joined this meeting from my residence city of Joy, Kolkata. I feel proud to be a shareholder of Paradeep Phosphates under your leadership. सर, आपके नेतृत्व में जब भी एजीएम अटेंड करते हैं ना, तो हम लोग को गर्व महसूस होता है कि हम एक डेडिकेटेड एंड ट्रांसपेरेंट जो कंपनी स्मूथली चलाते हैं, उस चेयरमैनशिप की लीडरशिप में हम अटेंड कर रहे हैं। और सर, कीप कंटिन्यू द वीसी मीटिंग। देखिए, आप पूरा बोर्ड जो है ना, चाहे वो बेंगलोर चाहे भुवनेश्वर में, हम लोग कलकत्ता में हैं, तो हम लोग जो है ना अटेंड कर पा रहे हैं। और सर, मेरे 3 क्वेश्चन है। पहला कि हम कब तक उम्मीद करते हैं कि मैंगलोर केमिकल की पूरी प्रक्रिया पूरी हो जाएगी, मर्जर की और शेयर इशू की, वो कब तक पूरी हो जाएंगी, और हमारा फ्यूचर प्लान क्या है कि फ्यूचर में हमारा की ग्रोथ ऑफ द कंपनी, और ईएसजी स्कोर क्या है, ईएसजी स्कोर अगर हमारा है तो उससे हमारा क्या प्लान, कुछ बताइए कि उसमें फ्यूचर प्लान क्या है। और इस फर्टिलाइजर की डिमांड बढ़ेगी, क्योंकि मोदी हमारे जो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री हैं, जो उद्योग मंत्री हैं, कृषि मंत्री है, वो कहते हैं देश हमारा कृषि प्रधान है और हम फर्टिलाइजर और यूरिया की डिमांड को आगे बढ़ाएंगे, तो उसमें हमारा क्या रोल रहेगा और हम कितने तैयार हैं कि डिमांड बढ़ने में हम पूरा अपना उसमें कंट्रीब्यूट कर पाएंगे। With these questions, I strongly support all the resolutions with a pray to God for your healthy and prosperous safe long life. क्योंकि आप जब मुस्कुराते हो, देखिए आप हमेशा इन्वेस्टर फ्रेंडली रहे हैं और मैं हमेशा आपकी रिस्पेक्ट करता हूँ। आपने कभी भी भेदभाव नहीं किया कि किसी के पास चाहे 1 शेयर हो चाहे लाख शेयर हो, चाहे वो एमएनसी के चेयरमैन रहे आप चाहे किसी भी का, आपने हमेशा शेयर होल्डर को रिटर्न दिया है। With this, I thanks to you and your company secretary to help us to join this meeting through this, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move to our next speaker shareholder, Mr. Gaurav Paliwal. Mr. Gaurav has registered as a speaker shareholder, but he has not connected the AGM. So, Chairperson, sir, this was the last question from the speaker shareholder. We will now proceed with the addressing the queries. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Suresh, would you like to, because there are very few questions and I think there are fairly simple questions that you should take up in any case.
Yeah, certainly. I think Mr. Manjeet Singh, who was the first shareholder speaker, did refer to a couple of recent developments which have taken place. which is the GST relief that the government has given. And well, coming to GST, I think मैं इतना कहना चाहूँगा कि हमारे कुछ रॉ मटेरियल्स थे जैसे अमोनिया, सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड, इस सब का GST रेट 18% पे था, जिसको कम करके 5% में लिया. It's come down to 5% now. A 5% is a good number to have because fertilizer is also at 5%. My output, the final product, and the input also comes down to 5%. This will reduce the intensity of working capital that we need. Normally, what used to happen is हम लोग पैसा पहला भरते थे, फिर सरकार से पैसा वापस मिलता था हमको. ये जो रिफंड का जो जा रहा है, जो सिलसिला था, इसमें हमको काफी हद तक फायदा मिलेगा. This is a good thing that has happened, but this will be effective from September 22nd, and going forward, we will see how this evolves. There has been some other benefits of fertilizer and GST, which is to do with specialty fertilizer, जहां पर भी 18% से 5% तक आ चुका है. तो इसके कारण स्पेशलिटी फर्टिलाइजर के प्राइसेस गिर सकते हैं, काफी कम हो सकते हैं. हम लोग डायरेक्टली कोई स्पेशलिटी फर्टिलाइजर नहीं बनाते, बट आगे जाके इसमें एक मौका लगता है हम लोगों के लिए. और ईपीएस इम्पैक्ट की जो आप बात कर रहे हैं, गिवन द फैक्ट दैट आवर टर्नओवर इज लार्ज, आवर बेसिक रॉ मटेरियल इज रॉक फॉस्फेट एंड एलिमेंटल सल्फर, इन सब में पहले से ही जीएसटी रेट 5% ही थे. इसके कारण हमको इसमें ईपीएस में ज्यादातर कुछ बड़ा सा ज्यादा कुछ फर्क लग नहीं रहा as we see today. And so only thing is some improvement in working capital and some less refund to be taken from Government of India. That is the current position that we have. And the next thing that we asked is about the MCFL closure, जो मनोज कुमार गुप्ता जी ने बताया. Well, MCFL का जो transaction है, this is moved quite well now. We are in the final stages of NCLT orders. We are expecting that the orders इस महीने में हो जाएंगे. So we are hoping that before end of the early part of the next quarter, which is between October 1st and November 15th, we should see a closure to this transaction. This will definitely take place. When it comes to the ESG that was referred to, our ESG score is 75, which is in the top 2 percentile of the global chemical companies. It has been a very major, I would say, major achievement for us as a company, because there have been a lot of efforts that we've done across our manufacturing sites and the other practices that we have. All that I'd like to highlight here is ESG is part of our working system out here. We believe that ESG is something which has a direct impact on your business and the business output. In a simple way to say is that everything that we are on ESG, one is all to do with how we manage our environment right, how do we look at circular economy, how do we look at the resource efficiency right across our manufacturing processes, and how we take it forward to the farm. So these are all areas where we look at it very carefully. And when it comes to the governance part of it, I think we've always believed in higher standard of governance in the company. So all this is getting reflected, the way we constitute our board, the kind of diversity that we have, the kind of compliances that we end up doing. All this finally is reflected in a good score. So we are quite encouraged by that, and we'll continue to sustain the initiative that we have taken, and we will look to securing more initiatives which will help us to optimize resources, to look at circular economy in a more holistic way. When it comes to how this whole thing about future that we talked about, the demand for fertilizer continuing to be there, I must tell you that India is a net importer of fertilizer. So as we speak, the segment that we are in, the phosphatic segment, against the total overall demand of about 22 million tons, only about 14 million tons is manufactured in India. About 8 billion tons gets imported. So there is already a growth for us to create capacity and meet and reduce the import dependence. That's the first thing. Second thing is this is also a growing segment. We see some of the micro segments within the phosphatic growing even at about 10% per annum in terms of growth. So there is a good amount of opportunity which is there. And this opportunity can be well utilized by the company in terms of setting up additional manufacturing capacity, going for more intensive backward integration. So we are all discussing these plans. And as you know, last year we have already announced an expansion of our phosphoric capacity from 5 lakh tons per annum to 7 lakh tons per annum. So the initiatives are being taken, and I'm sure in our earnings call, any definitive steps that we will take will be shared with all the shareholders. Coming to the possibility that we get along with the MCFL, I think the key thing for us is MCFL opens up a new manufacturing site for us, which gives us opportunities, number one. Second thing is MCFL also opens up a new marketing territory, which is deep down south in India. So these are all very, very favorable for us, which will give us an opportunity to further grow. And we are quite clear that we would like to provide the farmers, even in those parts of the country, with the right kind of combination that is required. There was also a mention about R&D. R&D has always been a focus for us, and our intent here is to make sure that we are able to get products which make very good sense to the farmland, which makes sense to the farmers, and which gives them high nutrient use efficiencies. So our efforts are on this. The nano fertilizer that we have introduced, the UAN, which is a liquid fertilizer that we are selling right now. These are all products that we introduced last year, and we will continue our effort to introduce newer products, R&D based products, which will help the farmers. That's the objective. Thank you.
Thank you, Suresh. I think you have responded to the questions in quite details. But if any shareholder has still any questions, feel free to write to Mr. Suresh Krishnan, and he'll be happy to respond. All I can tell you is, as a company, we are committed to the farming sector and committed to farmer first, to the welfare of the Indian farmers, because we do believe they have a major role in contributing to the food sufficiency of the country. So we have already drawn up plans, as Suresh mentioned, for further expansion of capacity and also adding newer products, which will all be announced in due course. But all I can say is, we are today in a very, very happy position that the company is growing and has very good opportunities of going further. May I now request shareholders who have not cast their votes by remote e-voting to cast their votes electronically. I appoint Shivram Bhatt, practicing company secretary, as the scrutinizer, who was appointed as the scrutinizer for remote e-voting also. Time period of 30 minutes would be available for casting your votes electronically at this meeting, after which the meeting will stand terminated. The scrutinizer shall submit consolidated report of the total votes cast to Mr. Suresh Krishnan, Managing Director, or Mr. Sachin Patil, Company Secretary, who shall declare the results immediately after receipt of the consolidated report from the scrutinizer. The results of the voting will be announced within 2 days of the conclusion of the AGM. So with that, I once again want to thank all of you for joining this AGM. Also, thank all my fellow shareholders and directors for being here today. I would like to conclude the proceedings of this AGM and wish you all a very healthy year ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Dear members, as instructed by the scrutinizers, request all the members participating in the AGM and who have not yet casted their votes to cast their vote in the remaining period of 30 minutes. Thank you.